What's going on, gang? Boy, Chuck Boomberg back in the house. It's Halloween. You dig? All right. That being said, I just want to wish everybody a happy Halloween, first of all. Second of all, I want to show you. So I made a trade this morning on Tesla, zero DTE trade, which I don't typically do this zero DTE, meaning 0 days till expiration option contracts, because they're very dangerous. But I tend to do it sometimes, especially with Tesla, on a Friday, because, well, they expire on Friday, and Tesla premium on option contracts are extremely expensive, even like a weekly, right? So I usually wait till Thursday or Friday, and if I can see a good setup, or if I can see, that the premiums are just cheap enough, I mean, I'll go for it. And I'm not going to say that these were extremely cheap, but it worked out. And anyways, I'm going to show you exactly, what happened, how it played out, and what the results were. And hopefully you learned something from it. You dig? Other than that, yeah, let me just get on to that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, baby. It's a bag brigade. Let's get it. What is poppin', bag brigaders? Happy Halloween. It's your boy Chuck Boomberg here as usual. I just wanted to make a quick video on a trade that I decided to take this morning, and I typically don't do these type of trades, but on Fridays I kind of break my rules sometimes, especially when it comes to Tesla or like Nvidia and things like that. So let's see. I decided, right, and I can pull actually this up for you real quick. I can show you the trade. This is the Bag Brigade Discord server, by the way. Let me go ahead and do the right thing and move them out of the way and those out of the way. Now, we have our algo alerts and everything, but I did this. Okay, so here we go. I entered, and I'm very, very, very adamant about people not trading. And again, these aren't trade alerts. This is for transparency purposes only. So when I get into a trade, I always announce it, but I say, obviously, don't follow this if you don't know what you're doing, and yada yada yada, right? And today I was not kidding, and excuse my language, but I said, do not follow this trade, damn it. I am not fucking around. Do not follow this. Entering Tesla 455 call, 0 day to expiration at 1.67 or $167 a contract, and I got 5 of them. Okay, that was at 9:01 a.m. my time, Central Time. By 9:07, I was already up 25%, just about. By 9:17, I was up 50%. Yep, and then by 9:19, 64%, and then I trimmed 2 of them at $293. I kept 3. Now at 9:26, I was up over 100%, right? With 3 contracts. The Tesla went in the money. It went to 455. Actually, it went to 467 at one point, I believe. I trimmed another one at $350. I had 2 left. And then this is me just looking at the net flow. And then I said, you know what? I'm getting out. And I sold the remaining 2 for $350 as well. That gave me this. So bought 5 at 167, sold 2 at 293, sold 1 at 350, and sold another at 2 at $350. That gave me a 96% profit, or $801, in a matter of about an hour hold. Not too shabby. Now let me show you why I did it. First of all, I looked at the support and resistance levels. That's what these white lines are. Okay. First of all, this is the 5-minute chart on Tesla. This is Weeble. So I looked at all time frames, right? I mean, I was looking at 5, 10, 15. But I started with the 5. And what did I notice at the 5? This is the TSI, the True Strength Index. When the gold line crosses above the purple, that's like a buy signal, right? So, and then this yellow line right here, that's VWAP. Now, let me move these support and resistance levels because they obviously weren't really that accurate anyway. But I'm going to keep the pivot points on. That's what these are, right? So the point of control pivot right here, right? So it breaks. The 5-minute candle obviously wicked above it, came down, but it's at VWAP, right? Then it tried it, it tried it again, it wicked, and it came back and it tested VWAP. But see, this is the Ripster EMA cloud indicator. And as long as it was holding basically this green level, or the green wave, especially after this break above VWAP, that's basically when I entered it. Okay, something around that. And like I said, I wrote it basically and started scaling out at certain levels. Because if I go at a 15-minute, and I can even turn extended hours off, really. And if I even go further out, it really made sense for me to take this trade because, first of all, and I want to remove this indicator for a moment because it's kind of making things a little messy. If you see, this is where we opened up right here. It gapped up overnight, right? And there was a gap. There was a bigger gap to fill at one point above here. Now I started scaling out around this 452, 453, but it did, like I said, it did go to 457.73. And that's basically when I got out of the trade. And look what happened. It came back down. Now it could bounce here. It's at VWAP. It's at the R1 pivot on the hourly. It still has a gap to fill to the top, but it does have this gap also to fill at the bottom. So it's really going to be dependent on what the broader market does. But that's really what I was looking at. This is also the 5-minute chart without the extended hours on. See, that's the gap up. But yeah, I mean, look, that's what I look for in these technical type of trades. There wasn't any news. There wasn't anything like that. It's just understanding how these indicators work. And as you can see right here, the gold crossed under the purple. So what happened? And look where it caught itself too, by the way, the R1 pivot on the 5-minute time frame. See, these pivot points, man, they don't play around. They are very, very, very accurate, and they mine them very well. As you can see here, this thing stopped itself at the S3 pivot. This thing caught itself at the R1. I mean, you can go back in time and look. It's always going to have, sometimes it'll, this was the other day when Powell was speaking, right? So, of course, it went up and down, up and down. But if you just keep looking, I mean, they're pretty accurate. We will step in their game up, guys. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you just to kind of show you how I look at things from a technical standpoint. I don't typically like to trade zero-day to expiration options like SPY and QQQ just any day because they're dangerous. Okay, yeah, I get it. They're cheap, but they're cheap for a reason. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. You can kill it on them if you're right, but time decay will set in very fast on those. And if you're playing with a small account and you are anywhere near the money before 30 minutes before close, but you're still not up, your brokerage most likely will close your position because you're probably not able to afford to buy, well, depending on how many contracts you have, but even one contract of Tesla, if you bought the 455 strike, and you executed it, that means you'd have to buy 100 shares at $455. Well, what is that? 455 times 100? This is per contract. That's $45,000, 500. So multiply that by 5, which is what I had. Oops, I guess it was. 455 times 5. I mean, by 100, I mean, sorry. And then times 5. $227,500 is what if I had, I don't know, I don't ever execute options. I don't do that, but I just flip the premiums. But I'm just saying, like, if you have a small account, you need to be very careful with these 0-day options. Again, I typically only do this on Fridays, especially with Tesla, because Tesla premiums are jacked. Okay, at the beginning, even weeklies. Okay, let's look at next week's. Look, like, okay, the 455 that I bought today, for what did I buy it for? Like was like 98 or something like that. I don't even remember. Regardless, it's trading at $1,295 a contract, $1,300 a contract. See, but as the week goes on and it gets closer to expiration, the premiums that's called time decay. You can measure that with theta. That's the theta's right here, right? So multiply that by 100. What does that give you? You're basically losing. Let's see. Do it again. Minus 1.0113 times 100. No. Okay, sorry guys. Times 100. Right, exactly. So that means that potentially every day that goes by, if it trades flat, let's just say it trades flat, it just doesn't move, right? Every day that goes by, at least from this day, it's gonna that number does change as you get closer to expiration. Technically you're losing $100 of value every day that goes by. That's how you calculate your time decay. That's if it's trading sideways. If it's going down, obviously, not only is the theta killing your contract, but it's going the opposite direction. So again, you just have to know these things about options. Okay, they can be tricky if you don't know how to trade options. I highly recommend paper trading options. Okay, Webull has a awesome paper trading options paper trading program. It's actually really, 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 it's probably one of the better ones that I've used. I've used Thinkorswims and stuff like that. I encourage people to practice and before they get into it. Okay, because once you understand how it works, and you don't have to make the mistakes I made, because my first year trading options, I think I lost about $60,000 of real money. Most people would never come back to that, but I wouldn't give up. I guess you could call me a degenerate gambler, but you know what? I learned a lot from that, and I made that money back and a lot more. And now I know more about the markets and not just Tesla and Nvidia and things like that, but I'm talking about bonds, gold, the yield curve, the Japanese yen, the exchanges with currencies, and just banking sectors. Like I have access to flow feeds and option flow feeds, futures. I started trading futures like about a year ago for the first time. I mean, like, this is an option flow feed right here, right? I have access to this. I mean, this costs money, but that's every option that's being bought at this moment, right now, literally. Like, brrr, 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 right? So, yeah, I mean, obviously, here's your zero DTE flow. These are all options that expire today, and they're being bought right now as you speak. This is live. Shout out to Quant View, by the way. I'll drop the link in the description. And then they also have some trade signals. Now, they were down earlier. Oh, they're back up. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Well, earlier Tesla was not working for some reason on here, but you can type any ticker you want. See? So there's your Tesla trade. There's your, well, I mean, I guess it wasn't working earlier. So but they got it fixed. But these are your current day trade signals, right? Meaning, okay, for instance, here we go. Let's look at this one. Let's just look at Amazon. Okay, 3-minute intervals. That means a 3-minute candle. It says short, and this is potential, by the way, people. If you do not understand how this works, listen up. So it says entry 246.33. So that means a 3-minute candle needs to close below that level. And then you got your take profit targets 245.51, 244.68, and 243.86. And then your stop loss is at 247.24. The AI confidence level is about 80%, which is that's pretty good. So yeah, so let's actually look real quick. Let's look at that just out of curiosity. I want to see 3-minute candle. What did he say? And they did have earnings yesterday too. So he's at 246.33. It's actually below that, right? So there you go. And then the take profits are going to be 245.51, 244.68. So he's on profit target number 1 is about to hit 245.51. Somewhere around here, right? Whatever. Let's got a line there. Second take profit target was 244.68. This is going to be all right here. These are very small, like intervals, because it's a 3-minute candle. Think about that. 243.86. 243.86. Right about here. So there you go. That would be your take. Those are your take profits, right? And then your stop loss was 247.24. So right now it's a take profit 1. If it breaks below that, you take profit. That's it. Let's say by multiple contracts, and you take your other one. Now that is not how I got into the Tesla trade, by the way. Tesla was for some reason was not printing on the tape on the Quant view dashboard this morning, but they fixed it. But either way, that's how that would work. Okay, so just to let you know, I know a lot of people ask me about it in the community. And I'm like, do not, I'll post the signals, but I'm like, do not trade these if you do not understand how to do it. These are day trades or scalps for the most part. And if you don't understand how to read the signals, and you got to remember, it's potential. There's no guarantees in any of this. But see, look at this. This was a fantastic trade. Now I could have done I could have flipped this around and played puts too. But I'm not like, what do they say? Pigs eat and hogs get slaughtered. Anyway, so I hope that was helpful.